God, the car started up.
The grinding of the gearbox from 4th to 5th. That's a supercharger.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video of Hoodstick. I would like to thank all the recent support and welcome all the new subscribers that have recently joined the channel. Remember to comment down below for a chance to win Hoodstick merch. Today's video, it's a bit of a different one. Most of the time we do quite well with buying and selling salvage cars. This was a complete catastrophe, the worst purchase yet, and almost lost £10,000. This was actually filmed when I first started buying cars on the channel. As you can see from the image, we purchased a 370Z GT. This was no ordinary 370Z. This was a Stillen X demo 370Z, which was running 550 brake horsepower. The only reason why I was trying to make the bid for this 370Z is because it was a supercharged 370Z. Like, just trying to imagine that in your mind. Like, back then, 2-3 years ago, it was very, very rare. I've seen this on eBay and it caught my eye. The body kit, the colour, the mods, everything about the car is a full-on race spec 370Z. It's like a little sister to the R33. Both running very similar power, one turbo, one supercharged. The car was advertised as a salvage car that hadn't been repaired, so it was a Cat N. As you would see from the images, the damage was just the front and near side, including the headlight. So it wasn't nothing too serious, just something like bolt-ons. This was clearly declared in the advert. They also advised that the supercharger needed a new belt. The advert stated that the car drove mechanically sound with no issues. I had actually took screenshots of the advert. At this point, we were making negotiations with him. I was asking questions, such as things like, how's the car running mechanically? And he stated in the ad, as well as on the text, he said the car drove mechanically sound, no issues. Supercharger works fine. All what the supercharger needed was a new belt. Because I was comfortable with buying and repairing cars, we packed our things, jumped in the car. Probably about 3 hours drive, and then when we arrived, this is where it all started to change. The car was parked in a driveway, and on the website it was from a trader at his business. It was a bit odd that the car was in a driveway. There's a red flag, which I didn't realise the first time. The car was already turned on, it was already running, and they were sellotaping the front bit. They were like around the car, and I couldn't understand as to why they were like moving around with the car. The car's already running. And I was like, okay, it seems a bit odd. Like, because normally, from my experience, whenever I want to test a car, I'd always want the car to be cold so I could check the oil and then start the car. You can hear any strange noises, but the car's already on, so I couldn't do any of those checks. But you know, I just thought, you know what, it should be all good. You know, it's a trader with his business. It made that too bad, but when I looked around the car, the coils were snapped, which gave me a massive red flag. Something that I never spoke about, and the two front coilovers were snapped and it's just like one of those, like, it's already, like, if it's worth over £1,000, I can't replace them. It's going to cost me over £1,000 to get new coilover suspensions. So I mentioned it to him, and he was like, "What? I've never seen that before." So he wasn't aware, and he didn't mention it in an advert. But anyway, I just said, you know what, let's just go for a test drive and see how it goes. He wouldn't let me drive the car, but anyway, I just said, hey, I'll just sit in the passenger. He literally went 5 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour down the road and back up, and that was it, just to show that the car drives. But he said mechanically the car was sound, no issues. The whole point when you buy a modified car is to see how the car performs at the high rev, to see if the boost actually kicks in, but he never did that. So that's another massive red flag. So I felt pressured. I took his word and I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and you know, I was fully excited. Most of you probably would have walked away. I made the payment. It was approximately £10,000 via bank transfer, which was a considerable amount for me, because honestly I work hard and I save up my money, and like I said, it was a considerable amount. A few miles down the road, as we were driving home, there was an awful noise coming from the supercharger. It sounded like there's a chainsaw, but this was not the same noise when the car was running at the driveway. So I don't know whether they somehow did something to make the noise very quiet, or maybe due to the car driving at higher revs, the noise got a lot louder.
That's a supercharger.
That was probably one of the biggest red flag. But then it was too late. I'm already in the motorway. Oh, there's no point in me going back. It's late night. I thought, you know what, let's just get back and I'll just sleep on it and relook at it again. But anyway, towards getting home, I was changing the gears and it started crunching on, again, second gear, third gear, fourth gear.
The grinding of the gearbox from 4th to 5th. The noise on the clutch bearings. The handbrake doesn't work.
it just started crunching, and I was thinking, oh my god, what more could go wrong? And then the traction control light came on, and then the driver's side window wouldn't go back up. There's an electrical issue, and it just got worse. I just parked it up with the window slightly open. I couldn't close the window, but I went to sleep. It was like past midnight. The next morning came. The first thing I did was literally started the car up. The noise was still as loud as anything. I took it to two JDM specialists. The two mechanics checked the supercharger, and they straight away told me the supercharger needs a rebuild. It's completely blown. That noise is a bearing and it's spinning around. You're just going to need a new supercharger. So at that point, I knew I'm in a big loss right now. The car's completely gone. And the craziest part is, I messaged the guy. I told him all the issues about the car, and he told me, you bought the car now. It's all sold. And all evening he ignored me. The next morning when I messaged him all the issues, then he said the car's bought now. There's nothing I can do. I gotta somehow make the money back. And I knew to myself, like, it's a Nissan 370Z. We bought it for £10,000. I knew they were gonna go up in price. They're the last generation of 370Zs. I think the new one come out 400R, but that wasn't disclosed back in 2019. I knew if I wanted to break the car, it had the expensive calipers. I think they were probably worth over £4,000. It had Nismo rims, it had a Nismo body kit, it had a carbon fiber bonnet, it had Nismo interior seats. If I was to break the car, I probably would have made my money back. But whilst I was contemplating about that, I had a notification from the bank, and they basically said the £10,000 was on hold because where it was getting sent to, it had too many red flags. I couldn't even believe it. The bank transferred the £10,000 back into my account, and this was it. I had £10,000 back in my account, and I've still got the car. And I thought to myself, right, this has got to be a sign from the Almighty. So the minute I got a notification that the money's gone back into my account, he immediately texts me, calls me like crazy. I didn't want to pick up the phone call because obviously I wanted it all to be evidence via text. So he texts me with a big long text saying to me that if he doesn't get that money back, he's going to report the car stolen to the police. So then this was crazy, right? So I already got onto the phone to the bank and told the situation. The car was dodgy. The trader was dodgy. So then immediately, I had to think about this, and the best choice I can come with is there's too much problems with the car. It was unfairly done. He was dishonest, and so I thought, you know what, it's best just give the car back. As much as I wanted to keep it, there's just too many issues with the car. It would have cost me so much money to repair the car because I didn't want to break the car. I always wanted a 370Z. So that's when we made the decision of giving the car back. So I immediately text the guy back saying, I'm gonna give the car back, but then he texts me back saying, nope, it's already with the police, the car's reported stolen, the bank has reported it as fraud, and they should be giving the money to him, the 10,000. So at that point he didn't want to text me or call
all of a sudden messages me.
That was it. So I straight away called the police, and I told the police, explained the full situation, and they said to me, you know what, just drop the car off.
All of a sudden messages me.
If the car is reported stolen, we'll have it notified that you called us and you've told us the situation. So, and that was it. And then the same day, we drove the car back in the evening, and I'm just gonna show you the videos right now.
No, the car is insured, the car is MOT'd and taxed. I even bought number plates for the car. Ever since I brought the car, I've had it parked up. I did take it to performance garages to get the supercharger checked, which they told me that the supercharger is on its way out. It needs rebuilding. So what I'm going to do right now is drive the car back to his house and post his keys. I'm not confident enough that this car might not make it back to the owner's address with the supercharger making that grinding noise.
Alright, okay. So on the way up, we decided that, you know what, I'm an honest guy. I don't want to be rude with this whole situation. What happened? We took the car to a car wash. We gave it a thorough wash. Fill up the car right now. We filled up the car with petrol, and we also got number registrations for the car as well, the correct registration because of the private plate on there. And the car came with 6 months tax, which I couldn't cancel. $370Z has been cleaned now. I just want to be respectful of giving the car back. Oh, thank God the car started up. Look at that loud noise.
going to deliver the car now at his house. Lives down here, so we're gonna get there. Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay, we'll go drop the keys off. Okay, right, so you guys can see, and here it is. We got to the address, and I thought it was the right address, door number 61. Walked up the steps. It was very late, and I just dropped the key in a letterbox, thinking, yeah, you know what, it is what it is. It is the right house. I just don't want to think about it ever again. This is where he lives. I think this is the one. Right, we made a bit of a blunder. I've dropped the keys in the wrong house. But it's all good because it is 3 AM in the morning. At 3 AM you can get yourself the all finest 4 all butter croissants. There's actually 3 in there, I could have helped myself to have one. But 4 all butter croissants. And I think nobody is gonna get the chance to have fresh croissants made straight out the oven at 3 AM in the morning. So not all blunders are an L, because this is clearly a W. Bismillah. Okay. We'll be back. So nobody answered the door. So at that point, we just thought of the idea. Let's just drop a letter to explain the situation. We need that key. We dropped the letter in that house in the midnight to say that, can you drop that key to the correct door number 41. As we delivered the letter to the door, the alarm went off on the door. The burglar alarm went off. The people in the house on the light, they opened the window. I explained the full situation, and they were tired. And then they come up on the door. They gave the key. And then I was just so thankful for the fact that we got the key back, and we don't have to worry about not worrying about the key not going to them in the morning. So then we dropped the key in the correct door number 41, and that was it. A few years later, now the case is all closed. About 6 months for that £10,000 to be accessed, because my bank account was locked. There was police involved, the fraud involved. It was a 6 months ongoing case, and for 6 months I couldn't touch my bank account for over 6 months because of this situation. It was unbelievable. It was so stressful. The craziest thing is that we've just done some checks on that car, and that car is not even on the road. That car hasn't had an MOT. That car has disappeared. I don't know where that car is gone right now. It's a mystery right now. And I put in the description how the car is, and then you buy the car, and there's lots of more problems with it. By right, you can give that car back because it's not exactly how they explained it. You have 14 days to give the car back. Obviously, in my situation, we did it within the next day because I was panicking. But you have 14 days. So, to end this video, may the Almighty bless each and every one of you. Hope nobody experiences the same thing that I had. Look after your family, take care of yourself. I'll see you guys in the next video. Farewell, dear Hoodstigs.